My name's Tom Sherman. I'm here for the Passage to Profit radio show on iHeartRadio. I'm pitching the new calendar system, which is the most cutting-edge, innovative calendar system in the history of time. You can get more information about it on www.thenewcalendar.com. So there's 5 seasons in the year, and there's 5 73-day periods. And I brought a wall calendar version for you guys to look at here in studio. If you folks want to follow along at home, you can check out our website, www.thenewcalendar.com. And we've got some samples up there for you to follow along with. So basically, in the 5 seasons, when you line them up to start on the winter solstice, that starts on December 21st, ends on March 3rd. Spring starts on March 4th, ends on May 15th. Summer begins on May 16th and ends on July 27th. Autumn is the newly discovered 5th season of the year, and that starts on July 28th. That ends on October 8th. And then fall begins on October 9th and lasts until December 20th. So in that, we've divided the season into each season into 2 months, and then one day right in the middle called mid-season. So to answer your question short, there's 10 months in the year now.
They've split it up so evenly that like the 2nd is going to fall on the same day every single year, like the 2nd of December, right?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. So right now it's
going to put all those calendar makers out of business.
Yeah, the big calendar is not going to be pleased. So basically the problem with the current calendar system, or one of them, is since weeks and years don't coordinate well, and there's that one extra day each year, what happens is the next year, so if today is a Sunday, next year today is going to be a Monday, or if it's a leap year, it'll be a Tuesday, and then it'll go on and so forth, where days and dates of the year only realign on a 6-year, 11-year cycle. And we've taken that, thrown it out the window, and now you just have to deal with this one calendar. It's, if your birthday is on the 5th day of the week, it's always going to be on the 5th day of the week, no matter what.
So I can see this being very valuable in data analysis. So for instance, I look at Google Analytics to see how many people have come to our website every day, and I compare periods against periods, and it's a day off, like you said, one period to the other. So I have to manipulate the data to get it to where I'm actually looking at comparable things. Mm-hmm. This would be awesome for that.
Right. Yeah, completely. I mean, applications are any way that you use a calendar right now. Since this is a better calendar system, it's like basically a better ruler that has standardized length. You can use it in any way. So I think data comparison and analysis, logistics, stuff like that, where you need to know time on a consistent, perpetual basis, that's where you're going to find the most value of applying the system. I started this by myself a long time ago, and then some big breakthroughs occurred in early 2017 in the form of a missed bill payment. And I was like, you know what? I've had it with this Gregorian calendar. I need to figure it out. And
well, you can't use the calendar for being late on your bills, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was madness. And so so I did some did a little work, and the eureka moment occurred, and that's when I started taking it to just basically people in my network that have backgrounds across scientific fields. Luckily, my girlfriend's dad is a retired physics professor, so that was nice because I gave him a copy of the prototype, and then the next time I saw him, he didn't even let me put my bags down. He was just talking about frequencies and atoms, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, and I think it's going to have a lot of applications in the future. But my question is, it's a completely sort of novel concept, and I'm not quite sure it's going to be received as maybe we would like it to be. So what is your plan for rollout, and what are your thoughts about where this will be initially taken up, and then how do you plan to make it more broadly taken up?
Right. It's a 200-year plan that we're working on right now.
According to this calendar.
Right. Yeah, it's Because, I mean, it took Pope Gregory about 150 years to get his calendar adopted. And he had the full weight and faith of the Catholic Church. So,
You've got
scientist.
you've got passage to prophet. I mean, come on.
exactly. I mean, I'm hoping this will cut it down by a few years. So, yeah, I mean, right now we're looking for the direct applications that really showcase its value, that get it into the mainstream. And I think how that's going to go is basically from businesses picking up the applications that apply to them, and people are better at understanding how they use the calendar and how this system will better their lives than I am. So that's kind of what we're hoping for is some adoption on the internal side throughout some businesses to help their operation processes. And then, after a few catch on, maybe they'll just adopt that whole calendar system in general, and then it slowly works its way into the real world. Another way that I think it's going to have a great potential impact is just in marketing distributables, because right now about 50% of wall calendars are marketing from an organization or a business that's they're like, hey, here's a free calendar, and people hang it up in their cubicles at home. And so right now they're getting a lot of loss, because right now, disregarding that this is a differentiation and a unique way to sell their business, if they use one of these new calendars, that's an evergreen supply. They can hang on to a box of these for as long as they want, pass them out at any time of the year, whenever they want.
So if somebody was born on leap year, what happens? They still get a birthday?
They still get a birthday. We're still going to put February 29th, leap day, in where society currently observes it, which is inoptimal within this calendar system. I personally like to celebrate leap day after the midsummer, which is the second longest day of the year, because that's one of the cool things when you line the system up to the Earth's orbital rotation and start it on the winter solstice. The exact middle day of the middle period is the summer solstice, because time kind of makes sense if we allow it to and view it under a objective structure. You can measure out time consistently in any way you want. If you have a baby, you can actually say, oh, he's a month old, and it's not like, well, does that mean he's 28 days old? Is he 31 days old?
I know. Sometimes that runs through my mind when I'm asking about a baby's age.
He never remembers how old he was.
You told us that you had a patent before the show, right? And
Yes.
You wrote one yourself.
Yes.
Right.
That's
You filed it, and you're waiting for a response from the patent office.
That's
right?
correct, yeah.
So how does having a patent mix with trying to get the calendar out there?
Yeah, I kind of had a hard time writing it because there wasn't a lot of prior art. There was actually I had to.
There was like only one calendar.
Exactly.
So you had one piece of prior art.
It was yeah, but I kind of took that approach because I thought that in order for this system to actually be a scientific system that's engineered objectively, you gotta do it like you're writing a patent or making a new piece of technology, rather than right now with a lot of the reforms that have been proposed and made, they're still based on the calendar being this mythical sort of thing that we don't really know what it is, but we do know what it is. It's a measurement system, and every other measurement system has pretty standardized rules of compounding units that align with each other, all these sorts of things, and it just was never given to the calendar. So that's why I took that route, and I figured, it's better than nothing as far as, why not? And I've always wanted to put on my resume invented time. So
Well, maybe you could get Europe to use it, because they use standard units for scientific measurements.
Yeah, if you have this is the metric calendar, right?
well, it's a little bit, yeah. I mean, the French actually, when they proposed the metric system, they proposed a metric calendar as well, but it was 10 36-day months, and then they just added 5 days on at the end of the year, which threw off the whole nature of it being a metric consistent standardized thing. And just one more point real quick is the metric system and the standard system, as much as there's beef between the two and all that, at least a foot is always 12 inches. It's not like sometimes it's 13, sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's 10. It's always 12. And so there is logic within the standard system to some degree.